Well, good morning, everyone. Hopefully, you guys are off to an amazing first week. Thank you guys for joining. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is goal achieving. And last year, this time when I did a workshop, what happened is I did a goal setting workshop, which is usually what we do this time of year. And then as I started checking in with some of my different clients and people that I worked with and attend, about 2 or 3 months down the road, no one had done anything, or they'd done a little bit, but they just limped along, and then they forgot it for the rest of the year. And I said, "No, that's not the way we roll. We are going to do things quite differently this year." What we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk a little bit more about goal achieving and changing our mindset a little bit about what's possible when we set these goals for our new year. So as we get started here, I want you guys to kind of sit back and think about how many times that you have set goals for yourself in the new year only to forget them 2 months into the year. I know a lot of times it's very difficult to stay so laser focused on your goals every single minute, every single day. You should have at least a cycle where once a quarter, once a month, you come back and revisit and go, hey, am I actually working towards that goal? And so this year, I really want folks to focus on achieving those goals and letting us know when you aren't achieving those goals. What are you struggling with? How can we help you? And really start to build a community where we're working together to make sure not only you're successful by yourself, but we're successful as a community. And if there's ways that we can support you, that we do that. For those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Nikki Green. I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm a motivational speaker. I am a now 5-time best-selling author. If you guys haven't seen the new book, I'm about to put it out in the email newsletter this week. So the spaces in between is now available on Amazon. It is fantastic to be a part of the Chicago writing group. And every year we put out one of these books, and super excited to continue exploring a little bit of fiction writing with some more experienced fiction writers than myself. Some of you guys might be coming over from my podcast, Stand Up and Stand Out, and very exciting to talk more about expanding career coaching as we go into this year. And thank you to all of those that are coming from some of the areas where I do volunteer work, like the Human Library of Chicago, or also the Pulling Each Other Along collective. And we'll be talking a lot about some of those other charity events and things that I do throughout the year. There's lots of cool stuff coming up there where I would love your support for charities that I support, and would love to hear what you guys are doing in that area as well. If we haven't connected somehow already and you just randomly came across this stream, you can use your cell phone to go ahead and grab that QR code, and you can get any of my contact information. Or if you're on your computer and you're looking for your browser, it is the nikkigreen360.com. Social, email, whatever you want, you can download my information and connect with me anywhere that's convenient for you. For those of you that don't know, my title now is a life and business resiliency expert. Some of you guys that may be following me from LinkedIn may remember me from my career in Silicon Valley, where I did pricing strategy for some of the top companies like PayPal, Microsoft, Cisco, and others. And so then that seems like pretty big shift, right? From doing finance to going over to help people build their mental resilience. But for me, it's actually quite similar. My career in Silicon Valley was filled with change. And so what I help people do now is deal with change not only in their business, but also in their lives. So I started off really working with young people as they're leaving university, because I saw a lot of them coming out of the pandemic and realizing they're disillusioned in where they're at and what they're feeling, and just having done 4 to 5 years in university and then getting into the workforce realizing this is it. And so really helping more people start to follow their passion. And then what happened is people that were those people's parents came and said, I'm also experiencing this kind of difficult transition time. Maybe the kids are out of, school, out of the house, and now it's up to them to try to find their own passions again. And they financially found themselves in a more secure place, but not quite ready for retirement. So it's been wonderful finding all these different people in these transition periods of life to help them excel and expand. And obviously, with all of my corporate background, I do still often go into companies and help them with team building, cross generational communication, and also figuring out how to transition into some of these new hybrid work environments and things that we're experiencing today. And as I talked about, I do volunteer work at places like the Human Library of Chicago, where people are the books and we open up a level of communication. It's a wonderful global organization. If you haven't read about it, you can go to thehumanlibrary.org to learn. But in there, my topic for book is victim of bullying. And I talk about that not just in schools and talk about that with young people, but I also talk about it in corporate environments and some of the bullying I experienced in Silicon Valley. Some of those stories are also shared in some of my nonfiction books, like I Laugh in the Face of Danger, The Great Leadership Awakening, and of course, my recent book, Chameleon Mindset. So, if any of those topics resonate with you and you're experiencing some level of change in your life, this is definitely the place to be to start your morning. Let's talk about Chameleon Mindset. When I go and coach people, we really talk about creative ways to embrace change and build mental resilience to transform your life and your career. One of the things that I'll think a lot of people do is like, well, let me just jump into the deep end. And that's where people struggle. It's like, well, that was a little bit too big of a step for us to take. And so, what I do is try to find people periphery ways that they can learn about themselves and then start to find that path forward towards their passion and toward a happier existence. We don't have time to go through all of Chameleon Mindset today, but we're going to start with creative adaptability as part of our 360-degree view of Chameleon Mindset. And this is really going to resonate with you guys as we start talking about goals. So, before we talk about goal setting, we're going to go a little bit into the stuff I shared last year and how did we finish out? Because before you can know where to go, you need to know where you're at. So, when I sat down with you guys at the beginning of last year, I had set a goal to be on 100 podcast interviews before my book launched at the end of February. And over the course of the year, not only did I accomplish that, but I was also on over 150 stages, really trying to excel and push my career as a motivational speaker. I was so excited with the results. And this is really something that showcased to me how important it is not just to have our goals, but to share them with others. Because as soon as every event I went to and I said, hey, I'm looking to get on this many stages, and people were amazed at that number, that goal, they said, hey, I have another stage for you. Because as many of us know, the best place to find new business is where you're already at getting business. And so I had a wonderful year traveling all around, promoting Chameleon Mindset as well as Great Leadership Awakening, and just sharing the message of how to have a more positive existence and to fulfill our not just our career but also our lives. If you guys saw me at any of these events, please say hi, let me know where we connected. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, so we're still catching up on making sure everybody's connected and into the system. Some of you guys may have grabbed the free lead magnet like the maze, or maybe you came in through the full course and you're ready to kick off coaching. I'm excited to begin this journey with all of you guys, but just super excited about all the wonderful things that kind of fell into place as I started this journey last year. And I said that all it took was this one live webinar for me to say I wanted to get on the 100 podcasts. And you know what happened? As soon as I got off this live, I had an email in my inbox and it said, hey, can you come to Salt Lake City this weekend? No joke, that weekend, literally the very next day. And I was just finishing a trip to Denver for my best friend's birthday on New Year's Eve. And so I said, well, from Chicago to Denver, if I just keep going, I can get to Salt Lake City and then I can return back home to Chicago. And what ended up happening there in Salt Lake City is I joined the wonderful crew with Pantheon FM, and I was able to record a dozen podcasts over a 2-day period, as well as connect with other amazing business leaders. And so this is how things cascade together. And then after that, I went to Orlando to go to Podfest, and many of those same podcasters were there, which continued to expand my reach and allowed me to get very quickly onto a number of stages. And this is how our goals really work. I know a lot of us want to sit down and write SMART goals and have this very specific plan of, well, I do A and then B and C. But you notice when we talk about doing that, what that means is I'm doing all the work. I have to push this boulder up the hill. I'm always the one that has to make this goal happen. And the thing that I realized is my goal happened so much faster if I had other people supporting me, if I have other people bringing those opportunities to the table. And so expanding our network is going to be a huge goal for all of us this next year, and excited to be able to support you in that. Not everything went according to plan, so don't think it's all rainbows and sunshine. It was quite literally rain. Theme for 2023 for me was definitely rain. I had some amazing opportunities, which on paper, if I had written them as goals, would have seemed like an amazing chance for me to do those those things I wanted to do. I got a chance to sit in front of Wrigley Field and promote my book and my coaching services, and it poured rain the whole time and the game got canceled. So you never know what's going to happen. And then I flew to LA for the launch of the Great Leadership Awakening. It rained again. There's quite literally a song that says it never rains in Southern California. And yet, here I was again in the pouring rain. We had to move our launch party from being on the beautiful beach there in Beverly Hills to being inside at a hotel. Wasn't the end of the world. We still had a great time and had an amazing launch to make it bestseller. But again, just difficult things that you don't plan for that was only within the first couple of months of the year. And that's pretty much how the whole year went. So I just learned to make the best of every opportunity. And so no matter what's going on, there's an opportunity for, if it's not going right for you, to see how you can help others. And that's exactly what I did. I connected with others during each of these events. Aside from that, of course, we always have personal goals. And I like to share both of these to make sure we're talking about the harmony between these two things. So in 2023, one of my personal goals was to get back in the saddle, literally the bike saddle of triathlons. In 2019, I had an amazing year as I moved here to Chicago. I did a ton of races, as you can see from all the medals. I ran from everywhere from Paris to here in Chicago, and I finished the year doing the 2019 Chicago Marathon. Well, and then we know what happened in 2020. I had big plans to get involved into triathlons again, and then everything shut down. Races canceled. I did one indoor triathlon March 9th of 2020, and then I did one more virtual event, which was the May the 4th Be With You, just to get a very cool Darth Vader medal. And you know what? It was kind of like virtual events are not for me. That's no different than training. I really wanted the thrill, not just of getting the medal and the race day thing, but really being around other people that enjoyed a sport that I loved, that has been a part of my life for over a decade, not just personally, but I opened a business around the world of triathlon. I got out, I swam, I biked, I ran, and we even roller skated with the kids. So anything we could do to really get out and be active again and enjoy great weather, sometimes even here in Chicago, try to just get out and do those things that we love and keep motivated so that way I can have that energy to be able to travel and do my business as well. I talked a little bit about SMART goals and how I want to start clicking some wheels and change our behavior. Much of my career in Silicon Valley, we spent time making SMART goals. I was in finance, of course, right? And I'm in charge of the numbers. So it's, well, this is how much revenue we did and how much expenses we had last year. Here's what's achievable in the next year based on economic projections, blah, 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 boring. Everybody falls asleep. And that's how many of us are setting our goals too. Last year, I did this much. And so I'm going to incrementally do this much more because that's the smart thing to do. And in some cases, that makes sense, right? We still have to balance how much we're able to achieve. But what I'm finding is it's also just not motivating. Putting a number there, whether it's a number on the scale, a number of revenue in your business, or some other number of something you want to achieve, we don't normally emotionally connect to that goal. It doesn't really mean anything to us. And so I want us to change the way that we do goal setting so that we can think bigger and achieve more. Now, I say this with a little bit of caution because I also sit down with a lot of people to make vision boards. Vision boards is the opposite spectrum, right? It's picturing what you want your life to be like if you have these goals. And so when we talk about creative adaptability, it has three key areas: cognitive, behavioral, and emotional. And so if I'm using my cognitive adaptability, I'm really sitting in that SMART goal space. But if I'm doing a vision board, a lot of times I find people way over on the emotional or behavioral space. They put down fancy cars, fancy houses, of course, money falling from the sky, and a picture perfect family on a tropical beach. Pretty much these are the key pictures that always end up in these vision boards, which is not to say that they're wrong, but it definitely falls in the, do you actually want those places? Why do you want them? What is it about your life that you're connecting to there? And so I really start to question people, not to get them so far back into that SMART goal, but just to be somewhat realistic of, well, what is it that's going to help you accomplish that? If you think about that fancy car, that oil change is probably $1,000. And if that's the kind of money you have, that's great. But that picture doesn't really go well with the family over there on the beach because you probably don't have a back seat and a space to put your kid to take him to school. So it's really combining these things to make sure that the goals for your life, your business, your career, your family, your friends, all of those are cohesive and you're emotionally attached to them to actually change your behavior to get towards those big goals. I really call this the art and science of goal setting. So the SMART cognitive side is the science behind how you might achieve it. But there is some magic. There is some level of emotional attachment that's going to happen as you put in the art of the goal setting. It's that you are going to achieve this goal no matter what gets in your way. And so, helping you guys as we get into this year really start to think bigger to achieve these goals, I'm super excited about. Sometimes it's just knowing something is possible. Even that 100 stages, 100 different podcasts, I heard someone else say it. And at first I thought, oh my goodness, that's a lot. How would you possibly do that? And then I let myself sit with it and think, no, I could actually do that. I know plenty of podcasters. I have lots of opportunity to get on podcasts. I could get on 100 too. And if I really focus, I could get on even more than that. And not just podcasts, but live streams and in person stages and go to conferences and be on virtual summits. And so 150 was possible. And we're going to make it even bigger this year. Same thing with a marathon. I would have never run a marathon if someone in, my peer group didn't encourage me to go do it, to help me relieve stress from my day job, to be able to get out and exercise when I'm traveling around the world. There's me in Paris, there's me in Singapore down there, and the one with the goat is in Northern California while I'm running California Marathon. But you have to believe that that goal is possible. Even if someone else has run a marathon, I honestly, I ran track in high school, and I say ran like really loosely. I did pole vaulting. Running was like through the end of the road to get to the pole vaulting latch. I never wanted to run. And so the fact that I've done these things later on in life really is a testament to it's just you have to start believing that you can achieve it. We're going to transition a little bit to talk a little bit about 2024. I know a lot of you guys are anxious about the new services that we have going on here. There's going to be so many cool new benefits. I love to travel, and we're going to go on a tour to Nikki if you're along for the ride. My big goals for this year can include many of you, and that's the best part about sharing it is I can't do these things alone. Some of these things I really will need your support for because they involve helping you get to your goals. One of the biggest things I'm going to do this year is to host in-person retreats. They're going to be 3-day retreats, mostly over weekends, and we're going to hit a bunch of places where I used to live and I know very well. And part of this was as I started talking to people about why they didn't achieve their goals last year, it's because they said, well, I just didn't have time. I got busy with life, kids, whatever the things are that happened. And so we started talking about instead of having quite so much virtual experience, could we kickstart things with these in person retreats so that we could really do the work together for a couple days and that you leave with a great foundation to be able to get to the next level? And people said, oh, yes, that would be great. Get away from the day to day. Actually do the work at a conference, not just sit there and get preached at and talked at and pitched to. That's exhausting. I did a lot of that last year and it was not my favorite. You need to be able to come to these retreats and actually do the work together and get the help that you need for the things that you've been challenged in. I'm a smart person, but at the end of the day, sometimes I'm just tired of learning new things and it's really hard. It's hard to go, okay, well, let me do this every Tuesday. And then the next Tuesday, something else comes up. The kids are sick, whatever. I really am excited to be able to bring you guys together in one room with other entrepreneurs who may be in different areas of business. And we're going to have some fun together. The other part of this exciting goal is, as you guys saw, 5 books in 3 years. It's been a pretty exciting journey with goals to put some new books out in the next year. And I really have the ability now to support 50 other people to write their story. Now, some of those people may be part of anthologies if you just want to write one chapter because maybe writing a whole book is overwhelming, or it may be really sitting down to take that manuscript that you've been putting together over the years and finally getting it out into the world. We'll be supporting nonfiction and fiction authors both. So it doesn't matter if you have a story to tell and you want to be a part of this, please let me know. There's going to be ways as we continue on that you guys can connect with me and share a bit about what you would like to put into the world. As I said, we're upping the stage goal. We went from 150 this year to now 200 in 2024. I'm excited. If you guys have a podcast, a live stream, an in-person event, or some other virtual summit, I would love to hear about the opportunity to support your community and help them achieve their goals. Any of you guys who have already read Chameleon Mindset or will be a part of my coaching crew will be helping you guys write your chapter on how Chameleon Mindset helped you get to the next level in your life or your business. So lots of great opportunities for folks to continue there. And of course, I'll be participating in the fiction anthology with my local writing group. And to keep the fitness goals going, I have officially officially signed up for the Chicago Spring Half Marathon, which will be in May. It'll be my 29th half marathon, believe it or not. So super excited to get my training going and be committed to my fitness. If you guys haven't connected yet, or you guys are jumping in kind of midstream, don't forget to connect with me. You can use your phone on the QR code link there, or if you're in your browser, you can go to the nikkigreen360.com. Any of my future events that are coming up, it's always in the events tab, and we also share them in the Chameleon Crew. So Chameleon Crew is a completely free group that we have on LinkedIn. You can join the community, no obligation, and you guys can see what's going on next. Now the question is, what's going on next for you? Is your business ready for 2024? Are you ready for 2024? It's coming whether we're ready or not. So I know a lot of you guys have really big goals for this coming year. I know some of you guys have had some challenges in 2023. It was a little bit rocky politically, economically, globally. There was a lot going on. And so we're going to really try to be focused to continue building up that community. So we make sure it's not we kind of got our goals, that we really, really knocked our goals out of the park. My question to you guys is, how will you guys go bigger in 2024? I really want to hear what your guys' goals are. You guys can send me an email or DM me over on social media. I'd love to hear not only what your goals are, but how can I support you as you go into this next ahead of us. Like I said, you can join the Chameleon Mindset Revolution. In there, we'll also add whatever new events are coming up, whether that's an event I'm hosting or ones that I'm attending. And then you'll be able to share things that you're doing too to get support in the community. So if you haven't done so yet and you didn't see it within the 360, you can grab that QR code there and join us on LinkedIn. You're wondering, who is this random chick with the crazy hair that I don't know, but she's smiling. So she seems like she's having a good time. So my name is Nikki Green. I am a 5-time published author. As of this just last week, The Spaces in Between is now available on Amazon, and we'll be sharing more this weekend. So you guys can order a signed copy from me if you would like. Last year, I was on over 150 stages as a motivational speaker, and our podcast has been featured in Podcast Magazine. The big news for this year is I am officially opening up my Chameleon coaching. In 2022, I got noticed by USA Today as one of the top 10 professional coaches, and my calendar filled up, which was fantastic, except then I couldn't take any new clients in 2023 because not only was I coaching, but I also had not one, not two, but 3 books come out. So 2023 was a great year as far as that, but I didn't get a lot of new coaching coming in. And so I really want to now take a pause on some of those activities so that I can bring in new people into the community to start to learn and grow and start to practice the Chameleon mindset. So the new coaching cohorts are going to be opening. They'll be quarterly. The first one will kick off next Tuesday, the 9th. I am going to have a free session to kick off each quarter so that if people just want to come and check out the group and see what's going on, they're welcome to do that. It'll be every single week on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central. Once you pay for the group, and those start on the 16th, you'll be able to continue getting the recordings if for some reason that doesn't work into your schedule. And the other part of the coaching, as I mentioned, is going to be the in-person retreats. So we are going to allow the folks in the coaching to jump into these retreats to really accelerate their business and personal goals. And we're going to have an aspect of wellness as well as business happening to really get us to that next level at least once per quarter. So if you join the Chameleon coaching program, you're going to get a signed copy of Chameleon Mindset. You will get access to Chameleon Mindset, the online course, to help you do self-study alongside of the group coaching that we're doing. Like I said, there'll be the weekly group coaching. So you'll not only have me, but other guest coaches will be coming in to support specific areas. And then you'll be able to network with the other people in the group. And of course, free access to the LinkedIn group to be able to continue to connect with those, not just in the paid coaching program, but also in the free group as well. So how much is it? That's the great question. So the quarterly virtual group coaching is going to be $1,000. If you want to just go ahead and commit for the year, you have really big goals and you say, man, a quarter is not going to be enough for me to get there. With the annual plan is going to be $10,000. When you do that, you basically get $4,000 in value each quarter. So you're getting a lot more than what you're paying for because I believe in delivering value over necessarily micromanaging your finances. So the signed copy of Chameleon Mindset is a $25 value. The Chameleon Mindset online course is another $300. The weekly group coaching is a $3,000 value. So alone, the coaching is worth way more than what we're charging. And of course, the free LinkedIn group, most people are paying up to $500 to be able to participate in these types of networking groups with high-level wonderful entrepreneurs who can help you on your way. So if you guys are interested in Chameleon coaching, there'll be a way to participate here soon. That's just one part of the equation. The other part is the retreats. And I know most people are excited about the retreats more than having to slog through weekly meetings to try to achieve their goals. So let's just cut to the punchline on what's going on with the retreats. So I've named these the GSD business retreats, get shit done. We are not mixing messages. We are going to be very clear. These are retreats to come in and do the work. You're not just going to sit there and get talked to or pitched at. These coaches are going to come in, including myself, and we are going to talk about in Miami your business foundations. Is your legal structure properly set up? Do you have an accounting system to register your revenue and expenses? Have you figured out a leads generation plan? Where's your marketing at? What's your branding look like? All of these core foundations, which many of us dabble into or run screaming from, we are going to actually sit down and make sure are in a good place for where you're at currently in your business and where you're going to forward. Even if you've been in business for many years, I met lots of people this year who had been in business 3, 4, 5 years, had never set up a legal structure or an accounting software because they were afraid to do so. No more fear, guys. We are going to do this properly, and you are going to have a real business, not just a hobby. So that'll be the beginning. Miami in February. Everyone wants to get away from the cold, and maybe we might have snow here in Chicago by then, so I'll definitely be ready to go. We have 12 spots for each of these retreats. Coaching clients will get priority, but even if you aren't a coaching client, you are welcome to come and just immerse yourself in the experience and get the benefit of all these wonderful co-coaches that I'll be bringing into each event. Next up in May, I will be taking you guys to California wine country. So this is really to, once we get to mid-year, to next level your business and your life. What I also heard from a lot of people this year is that they were struggling when they were an entrepreneur and they had a partner who probably still had some sort of 9 to 5 day job. They didn't understand the ups and downs of what was going on. There's a lot of miscommunication happening. Obviously, emotionally, entrepreneurs are exhausted. We're trying to go through this roller coaster of how to run our business, and we need to better communicate with our partners. And so I'm really encouraging people for the California Wine Country one to bring a partner. That doesn't have to be a life partner. It could be a child, maybe an adult child that's really critical to your life. Maybe it's a best friend. Maybe it's a parent and you're a young person coming out of university and you're trying to get your parents to understand the importance of you going out on your own. Anywhere where you're struggling to have that important support person in your life, understand this new journey you're on. That's really the goal of this workshop. So there'll be business focused things that the entrepreneurs will be working on, and we'll have some fun in the sun. August in Chicago is an incredibly fun time. There are music festivals. We've got sports galore. We will go back to being a very focused business retreat for this one and really talk about scaling your business. We'll just go downtown and we'll have some fun. And last but not least, to go along with this 50 authors project that I'm working on, we are going to do a retreat in November during NaNoWriMo to go over the business of writing. So not only will it be an immersive writing retreat where we'll all sit down and work on either that one chapter or that longer manuscript, but we'll also talk about why writing is such an important part of our business these days and how to make it achievable for all of you. If you didn't catch the dates, here's some of the specifics. They're also available on the website. February for Miami, May for California, August for Chicago, and November for my beautiful hometown in Lake Tahoe. Super excited to show people that area. If you guys haven't been to these places before, this is a great opportunity to get really a local feel. If you guys want to learn more, if you guys want to have more of a dialogue, you can register now for the January 9th session. That'll be the Q1 Zoom registration that you can get there from that QR code. It is an open invite. If you also know someone else in your community that you think would be useful to join, feel free to send them the link as well. Some FAQs to make sure we're going through the details. As I said, you don't have to be a coaching client to go to the in-person retreats. So if you just say, I just can't do that weekly session, it just really doesn't fit in my schedule because of my job, my kids, whatever the things are, my cat, that's totally fine. If you guys are interested in just the retreats, please let me know. We'll give you the link to the interest form. You just fill it out and you can let me know which session you're interested in attending. Coaching clients will get first pick of the retreat space and of the accommodations. So in some of these places, there's going to be some really nice places to stay. And if you are a coaching client and you've already been with me and you also would like to do the retreats, then you're going to get first pick. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. More encouragement for you to be a part of the coaching and enjoy benefits of both the ongoing support in the group, as well as the Kickstarter or ongoing kind of deep dive in your business once a quarter. The retreats are going to be $3,000 a person. You have an opportunity to affiliate. So get yours, bring a friend. That includes 3 nights accommodations. It includes all of your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, including the evening event, and pitch free coaching. We will not be up there selling you guys stuff. We will be there teaching you guys every step of the way during the time that you're there. You will have opportunity to work with the coaches if any of them provide services that you are interested in. That's totally on you to have those discussions with them, but I want to make sure that people know this is not an environment where we are going to be selling to you 100% of the time while you're sitting there. The price doesn't include airfare, ground transportation. You got to find your own way, and once you get there, we'll make sure everything else happens according to plan. Some of you guys may be interested in other types of opportunities to participate in these retreats. Maybe you have a business where you would like to be one of the coaches. So, co coaching, if you would like to participate in that, I have between 4 to 6 spots for other coaches to join me. It's $500 buy in for that, and that includes your room and board. Obviously, you get a 1 hour no pitch coaching spot. And then you'll have a day 3 to do one on one with attendees if anyone's interested in working with you further. Maybe those weeks don't work for you, or maybe you have a different type of thing. Maybe you have a product or service. Maybe you sell popcorn or tea, or you have other opportunities to give people marketing products. We will have swag bags going to all the participants. And so we have sponsorship opportunities that range between $2,000 to $4,000. Those are customizable based on your business. You can add stuff into the swag bag. You can do a live community talk during one of our weekly group coaching, and you can do a remote offer pitch. Basically, you're not there, but you can give them something that potentially to go do something else with your community if it lines up with things that they might need to do in their business. So if you're interested in co-coaching or sponsorship, there's also a form for this on the website. Please fill in that JV partner interest form. Let me know what you guys might be interested in: affiliates, co-coaching, sponsorships, or joining the trade, or all of the above. I'm excited for what 2024 can bring. Here is the QR code to get you to the affiliate partner interest form. But if you'd like to learn generally more about the retreats, you can go to thenikkigreen.com and go to /retreats. There'll be lots more coming out on my social media, so stay tuned. Happy to see you guys here today. I hope you guys are having an awesome and super amazing new year, and I can't wait to see you